If you are anything like me and you spend your time endlessly searching on the internet just looking for that next performance modification for your car, and your car is turbocharged, there's a good chance you will have seen this modification right here. This is called a turbo blanket, and this one's by Forge Motorsport for my Abarth 595 Competizione. And basically what the manufacturer's website says is I can effectively forget about buying any fancy expensive intakes or uprated intercoolers because this thing can dramatically reduce my air intake temperatures. However, when I went to browse the internet or indeed YouTube to try and validate that claim as to whether these turbo blankets actually work or not, quite frankly I came up a little bit short. So that's what I'm going to do in this video, put this Forge turbo blanket to the test using proper data to try and establish whether these turbo blankets actually reduce your air intake temperatures or if they are nothing but snake oil. So let's get into it. So the test car for this video is my Abarth 595. This engine bay is small, so heat can build up pretty quickly when it's being driven hard, such as when I took my Abarth 595 to the famous green hell, the Nürburgring. Stock heat shields, while functional, often leave a lot of room for improvement, as they don't always prevent heat from radiating to the cold side of the turbo or even surrounding components, and this is where the Forge turbo blanket comes in. By wrapping the turbo with a blanket, it helps contain that heat, keeping the heat where it belongs on the hot side, which helps to keep exhaust temperatures high, improving turbo efficiency and reducing the time it takes for your turbo to spool up, whilst all at the same time keeping the cold side of the turbo cooler, meaning your air intake temperatures stay lower, which is crucial for optimum engine performance and of course more power. It also keeps the engine bay generally cooler, helping to protect sensitive components like hoses, wiring and intake parts to improve overall reliability. A typical turbo blanket is made up of layers of heat resistant fabrics, often featuring materials such as a calcium magnesium silicate wool inner core, some high temperature silica fabric and stainless steel rivets to bolt it all together. This construction ensures that it can handle extreme temperatures, with this model all the way up to 2500 degrees Fahrenheit. That is some serious heat resistance, and when it's new it's quite flexible, making it much easier to fit, and after a few heat cycles it will stiffen up as the material cures. So now we're going to put the theory to the test to see if this Forge turbo blanket actually lowers your air intake temperatures. So it has been a full 3 months since you saw the first part of this video, and in total this video has actually taken me a full 6 months for me to gather enough data to hopefully be conclusive as to whether turbo blankets actually do a job or not. Now, I've driven this car, my Abarth 595, on a variety of roads. I've driven it on B roads, I've driven it on motorways, I've driven it at different temperatures, both before and after the turbo blanket, to try and establish basically whether they do work or not. So how did I gather the data then to come up with a conclusion? Well, what I basically decided to do is use an OBD2 connector with an app on my mobile phone to basically monitor real-time data as to the air intake temperatures in comparison with the ambient temperatures outside. I felt that was the best way of actually doing this because it was quite easy to see on a variety of different temperature ambient levels, basically the air temperature outside, as to whether they was actually lower after fitting the turbo blanket or whether they made no difference whatsoever. So thankfully I do have a bit of a conclusion for you guys as soon as I pull out of this junction. So basically when I was driving along without the turbo blanket, on average my air intake temperatures were around 20 degrees above the ambient temperature outside. So with the turbo blanket, are those higher or lower then? Well, basically I will just show you the results myself. As I'm driving along, as you can see, it is 10 degrees and the temperature is 31 degrees. So that's essentially 21 degrees, okay, right now at this very minimal temperature of only 10 degrees. Now don't get me wrong, the intake temps can fluctuate. If I've got a nice clear road in front of me, then of course, and I'm doing sort of 40 to 50 miles an hour, then I'm going to get more airflow under the engine bay, which can lower the temperatures slightly. Of course, if I'm stuck in traffic, then of course they can go back up. So I've taken all of this into account. Right now, as you can see, I'm on a clear open road, no cars in front of me. I'm doing 73 kilometers per hour, just to check this is still live. And as you can see, my intake temperatures are still around 30 degrees. So it's dropped 1 degree, even though I've got no cars in front of me. So let's just pull up and come up with a bit of a conclusion as to the air intake temperatures and where turbo blankets might well come in useful. So for me, you see, that is pretty conclusive. From my point of view on my car, this Abarth 595, with this Forge Motorsport turbo blanket, I see absolutely no evidence of the fact that it will actually reduce those air intake temperatures, which of course is the whole idea of one. Yes, other applications, other cars, other brands may vary, but I can only comment on the results that I've seen in this video. When it comes to the bling factor, turbo blankets look really cool in the engine bay, and of course there may be some applications where ultimately it might reduce the overall heat inside the engine bay, basically prolonging the life of any plastics, hoses, connectors, etc. But when it comes to what we set out to achieve in this video and find out whether fitting a turbo blanket by Forge Motorsport to my Abarth actually reduced the intake temperatures using proper data, unfortunately the answer is no. So if you found this video useful, please do give it a big thumbs up. It tells YouTube algorithm more people just like you might want to watch my content. Subscribe if you're awesome, and until next time, see you again soon.